Welcome to our Plus One channel. Our mission is to help you learn, play, and win in Townstar. We are building a community and we are building a library of content for you. So if you have any questions, tips, or tricks you want to go ahead and share, post them below in the comment section. Today's video is going to be a beginner's guide to Townstar. If you have never played Townstar or starting to play Townstar, this is going to help you out a lot. We're going to go ahead and talk about the homepage, going to pick a location, and we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about what you're going to see in your town, alongside some game mechanics. Moving forward, we're going to go ahead and pop into our Gala Games homepage. We are in the Gala Games homepage, and just by taking a quick glance at it, you could see that they're selling these items and there's other games that are being listed. So the cool thing about Gala Games is that they try to incentivize and empower gamers, because we spend so much time playing these video games, so much brain power, effort, and sometimes we create these communities or friendships that come along it. So the whole point with the NFTs is that they are in-game items. So you're gonna enter into a weekly competition. You could destroy that in-game item. The following week, when the new competition comes, you're actually gonna keep that item and you could go ahead and utilize it however you want. At any point, let's say you get tired of playing the game, you could actually sell your NFT into the open market. So no matter what, this actually empowers the players. But I do want to make this very clear. In the beginning, you don't want to be focused too much on NFTs, because you want to make sure that you're building the best town that you can. The name of the game is productivity and efficiency, and if you have a poorly designed town and you throw a bunch of NFTs, you're only gonna go so far in terms of the ranking. So you want to make sure in the beginning that you kind of build your town the best way you can. And I'm gonna go up and I'm just gonna click the games tab, and you can see that there's 4 games. We have Townstar, which we will be focusing on. You have Mirandus, Echoes of Empire, and Fortified. So I'm going to go ahead and click the play now button. And the whole purpose of the channel is so we could give you the information you need, because it takes a lot of trial and error to play this game. You will get mad at your workers, you will run out of gas, and you will go nowhere in ranks. But hopefully by viewing this channel, we're going to streamline that information for you so you know what you need to know so you could have fun playing the game. So I'm going to go ahead and click the play now button. It's asking me to create an account. I already have an account. In the description, I'll go ahead and put an affiliation link. At any point, if you use it or you don't, that's fine. It will be great if you try to support me, but we're going to go ahead and move on and just put maybe later. So right now you could see the world map and you can see all the continents. And like I said, this is just going to be a quick guide just to help you along, and just to give you a quick description of some of the locations. Each location type has its own benefits, and just by clicking on this beige color, it's a desert. The desert doesn't have trees, it has no water, so good luck building anything there. You click on this olive green, it's a forest. So you're gonna have a bunch of trees and a bunch of ponds, which is gonna help you out in the beginning. We click on this lighter green, it's a plain, so it's gonna be a flat area. There's gonna be a bunch of grass, so if you have cattle or animals, they're gonna walk around, they're gonna be eating it for you, so you don't have to feed them as much. And there's also, if you're right next to it, there's a mountain, that brown square. And the good thing about mountains is that you're actually going to be able to mine the mountain for certain metals, and those metals you're going to go ahead and utilize to make other crafts. And another location is actually by the sea. Whenever you're by the sea, this just means that you're going to be able to create a salt faster. It will hinder your crops on how fast they could grow. If you go to this other, that's a river. So the river, it basically helps water your crops passively, so you don't have to spend time watering your crops. And in the beginning, I always recommend, if you are barely starting with the game, I would recommend you start off at a forest next to the river, because that's going to give you access to a bunch of lumber, and your crops are going to be watered passively. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a location right now, and I always recommend you try to go to South America and get access to that river. If you don't, have the ability to do that, try going to North America. It's always good to be surrounded by other players because that just means that you're going to waste less in gas to make your deliveries. And in the beginning of the game, it's very important not to run out of gas. So I'm going to go ahead and look for a location right now. And we went ahead and found one. I'm just going to go ahead and name my town Olympus. And this is the name that's going to show up in the ranks when you go ahead and start playing the game. And it's loading, and I was able to secure a forest next to a river. And just how you're looking at it right now, we have our town. The cool thing about Townstar is that everybody starts off with the same items in the beginning. Everybody starts with 2 wheat, a silo, farmer, woodshed, builder house, that little truck you see, and a fuel storage. And the thing that's very, very awesome about Townstar is that this is your town. You can build it however you want. So you have a big variance in terms of how players decide to design their towns. And some are efficient, some are great, some rack in the points, and some more likely don't make it and maybe die. So I'm gonna go ahead and share. On the left side, you're gonna see that there's this dashboard. And just to let you know, right here is how much money you have, how much you're paying the workers per minute, and all the goods that you have in storage. Any item you make in Townstar needs somewhere to be stored. So whether it's wood, your crops, maybe industrial good, it needs a storage of where you're gonna keep it. And these storages do have a capacity as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the ranking. So there's going to be a timer right here, which lets you know when the competition ends. Your points are stated right here. And if you click on the trophy, it's going to give you your rank as of where you are right now. Since we haven't sold anything, we're at 0. And I'm going to go ahead and close this. And like I mentioned, there's a timer. So we have 8 hours until this week's competition ends. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to sell an item. So when you sell an item, you just click your truck or boat if you have a boat. And you always need 10 items to sell. And just to let you know, you are not selling these items to another player. This is just a game mechanic in terms of how to make your sales and how to earn your points. And you could see right here that it's telling you how much you're going to earn. We're going to get 3,000 to sell that wheat. It's going to take us 2 minutes and 24 seconds, and it's going to cost us 2 gallons of gasoline. So you want to make sure in the beginning when you pick your town to check how much you're going to spend per shipment, because usually you don't want to be spending somewhere above 3 gallons per delivery. You want to keep it low, so ideally 2 or 1 would be the best. And you want to make sure you keep an eye on how much gas you have, because you start off the game with 40 tanks, and if you're paying 3-4 per delivery, you're gonna run out of gas pretty fast. And the moment you run out of gas, your town will die. So it's also important to have a plan to set up your gas production. And later on, I'm gonna go ahead and create a video to share so you could get an idea of what's the best way to set up your gas production. But I'm gonna go ahead and make this sell. We're gonna go ahead and sell it. So it's gonna, you could see it's throwing it all into that truck and it's gonna go. Okay, now you guys probably noticed something. Our town is littered with trees, but there's nobody doing anything to them. So we have to get a worker to actually start chopping down the trees so we could start creating wood. And my Georgia town, whenever you're building something on Townstar, you're gonna need either wood or lumber. The way you get lumber is by using wood. So I'm gonna go ahead, hire a lumberjack. So you just go ahead and click next to the road. Just to let you know, when you're building a house or you're building a building, you actually need to be right next to a road. When it comes to crops, you don't really need to be near a road. You could place them wherever you like. Same applies to a builder house, which I'll go ahead and show you when we go through this items here. So the first one is gonna be the farm section, which is just a bunch of agricultural goods. So you have a bunch of people you could hire. You have the crops. You actually have a winery, and there's also a bakery and a cakery. And the next one is going to be more of the ranching products and workers. So you have your cattle and how to feed them and everything. The next one is going to be the terrain. So you're always going to start off with building dirt roads. Eventually you want to migrate towards a paved road, just because it's going to make your workers run faster. And on top of that, there are certain building requirements for other structures that do require paved road. And the good thing that we could actually create our own pawns. So those pawns that you saw earlier, we could actually sell those for money. Granted, you're gonna get less when you sell them compared to when you build them. So don't go too crazy in the beginning selling all your pawns. Try to only do it if you have to or running out of money. And you go into the industrial section, and right here, most of the workers you have are more likely going to help you make the high-ranking products. And just to let you know, the high-ranking products as of May 2021 is the cakes, you have blue steel, and wines. That's usually what players are trying to create the most of. The last one is the trade. So these are just access points for you to be able to sell your product to the market. So I'm going to go ahead and hire a lumberjack. And it actually, our shipment is back. So we're going to go ahead and hire him. And he's just going to go around doing his thing, chopping down these trees. At any moment when you don't have anything for your workers to do, they will go to sleep and you are still going to pay them. And as your town grows, you're going to see this wage number increase. And I'm just letting you know now, because it will happen to you. At any moment you run out of money, your workers will drop whatever they're holding. It will happen. I'll let you know already. You could get mad, you could cry, you could throw a fit. You are aware now. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept our money for the delivery. So you just click on the truck, and as you can see, we got some more money coming in. And let's check out our ranks. And as you can see, we kind of went up a little. So we have our lumberjack, our farmer, and as you could see right now, he has to water this one, but it's not watering this one. This one automatically repopulates and spawns. And the reason for that is because these crops need to be watered. So we need to make sure that they have sufficient water. And since you're by the pond for any crop around it, touching it, it's going to give it 2 waters. And the further out you go, the less it's going to be. So as of right now, it's getting 2 from here. These marsh, give it 1. It just needs to be touching the marsh and it will give it 1. So if you do the math, 2, 1, that's 3. That's a requirement for this one. It's only getting 1. And the reason behind that has to do with how far it is from this pond. So since it's this far, it's only going to get 1. It's not next to this marsh, so it's not getting anything from that. And this is the reason why you want to be right next to the rock, because if you put them right along the water, it's going to automatically get fed water and your workers don't have to constantly be going over and throwing water at it. And as I mentioned before, you could actually sell these ponds for money, and you're only getting 5,000 and you have to pay actually 20,000 for them. And this marsh, you can actually get rid of it and it's going to cost you 5,000. And just to let you know, this well right here is where you're getting all the water if you have to water them. So now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you further why you should probably start by the river when you start off. And right now I'm just going to chop down a couple trees just so you could visually see why advantageous to go there. And I'm kind of running out of money, so as you could see, I'm going to have to sell some of these ponds. I just want to be able to make a clear path to the river. I think this is sufficient enough. Let me just get rid of this marsh. So like I mentioned before, you want to be right next to the river. And this is just a little preview when it comes to crops. Later on, I will make further videos regarding how to structure your crops and where to place them. But I just want to go ahead and show you very quickly the proximity effect when it comes to crops with their water. I'm just going to build a straight line from the water. I'm going to go ahead and build 5. And the reason behind that is when you're by the river, exactly right next to the river, all your crops are gonna get 5 buckets of water automatically. And that doesn't just apply to your crops, it actually applies to your cattle as well and other structures that might need water. And I want to make it clear that we're talking about water, not barrels of water. And just by clicking it, you can see the closest one, 5. You have the one next to 4. Now you have next one. I think that was supposed to be. I'm just gonna go ahead and spawn all of these. And like I mentioned before, 4, 3. Actually, that's getting 1 extra from here. That's a proximity effect. You start building ponds right next to the river, they're gonna get more water from it as well. So now this should be, well, that's 2 and that's 3. That means this one's for 1. And as you can see, our farmer has to go over and start watering them. So the cool thing about this game, like I mentioned, it does take a lot of trial and error. So it's pretty awesome if you could get in touch with other people that like playing the game, and that's how you kind of share ideas and get better at the game. The more you talk to, the more you're part of a community, the better you're going to be off than trying to figure this out by yourself. Hopefully our beginner's guide has introduced you to Townstar, or if you're already playing it, you more likely already got information and already getting better at it. We are going to be able to make a playlist, so at any point if you want to view our videos and play Townstar at the same time, you will be able to. It is highly recommended because you will be getting better and ranking up faster in the game. If you gain value from this video, go ahead and like and subscribe and share with your friends. If you have any questions or tips or tricks you want to share, go ahead and put them in the comment section below so we could get a discussion going. And like always, you gotta keep learning, you gotta keep playing, and you gotta keep ranking up. That's why we're here. Until then, more stuff is on the way.